Hello, my beautiful people. It's my bird, and welcome to Wild Child Tarot. So, we are just doing a little check in, a little collective vibe, see what's going on. I broke out the tea. This is like half the deck. Can you see the other half of this? There's that, yeah, like half the deck. And I can't shuffle it all. And I got phalanges. Did we say this the other day? Phalanges for days. I think that might be a t shirt. Anyways, let's go ahead and just check in. I gotta remember to look at the actual camera instead of looking at myself like narcissists. But let's go ahead and see. This is just kind of like collective check in. What's tea? What's popping? We've got broken ring, parting of the ways in either romance or business, but that's in reverse. Interesting. I'm going to pull out 3 cards. Horse. Excuse me. Ooh. I like this message. So I feel like there are definitely people around you. I don't know who. We're not going to jump into that, right? This is a general reading. But there's definitely a general consensus that there are either a few people, one person, or perhaps several parties on different sides of the fence that were definitely like looking or trying to perpetuate or trying to put in the scenario that they wanted you and your person, whether it's a business relationship, a friendship, because this could be like, oh my God, you just met somebody at like the yoga studio or the gym, and the two of you are like, we're going to go cycling every day or whatever. And then like your old friends are like, or you just started dating somebody and you're just kind of doing like the hermit honey mode, honey mode. It's interesting. Honeymoon. Okay, honeymoon mood. Okay, I'm also feeling there's something here. There's a separate little message where you might be like seeing someone and oh wow, this is really interesting. I thought it's like someone of the same sex of you that you've known maybe your entire life as being interested in the same sex. So like let's say you have a best friend that is a lesbian or is gay, and is presented that their entire time, they might be interested in the person that you're seeing. I'm getting that very heavily. Like they might, like, right? Because you wouldn't think that. They're like, you're into the same sex that we're in and you're comfortable with that and all whatever, but they might, just not like, oh, so you're secretly bi or like never even thought about that. But I'm definitely getting there's like this side bubble. Yeah, I'm getting parentheses, like an exception. I would make the exception for this person. Oh, yeah. So be really careful with who you're sharing, who you are seeing, because I think there are people here that would not be, or I'm also getting like there are people that might have not been attracted to the same sex that are now attracted to the same sex because I feel like there's 2 people here because we got the dolphin, we got the horse, short journey. I don't think this is going to be like an issue between 2 of the people, but I definitely feel like there's like a couple. I'm getting like Barbie and Ken. Yeah, take those confirmation. Barbie and Ken, power couple dynamic, where it's like everyone around them is like attracted to the person that they're with, and they're still trying to like attract the person. Like they're okay, yeah. I'm getting the crabs in the butt. I'm getting power couple. Now I'm getting like da da da. Yeah, no. There's people are woo, and I think they're showing their hands with their desperation. Take that as confirmation. I think they were more subtle before, but now I feel like they're like coming. I'm almost gonna like. Why am I getting Skrillex? That's something for somebody like, but like cockroaches like coming out from like out of nowhere. Like, where did this person come? Like, how did that? I didn't even know they were on the radar. Like, yeah, it's like roaches. That's terrible. Take that. Oh, there's so many confirmations. I haven't had any confirmations until I started this reading, and it's just like, yeah, it just a disturbance as 444 is on it. A disturbance in the force 444. Why? Because there is a foundation that's being built. 444. People want to get to it before that last 4th corner of the 4th is being. They're like, Can I go in there and slide in their DMs? Can I entice them? Can I tempt them? Can I whatever? Because people are feeling like there's something going down, and if they don't get in there real quick, like they're never going to be able to get in there. I am definitely getting like an uptick. Oh gosh, this happened last year. There is an uptick because financial gain usually coming from something you did in the past. What I get from this is like because dolphin in another deck is also like a very sexual card, like a right? Dolphins is like slick and like intellectual and like very phallic and lots of power. Like it's a very, very dominant type of energy. And so this is like a very like Mars based financial gain. Like there's something that people like want. And like I feel like they might be using their je ne sais not so quoi like energy to like try and manipulate the situation because they want to get their hands in on it, but they don't realize it's like the actual magic of the situation is between the two people. It has nothing to do with one person or the other. Like the magic wouldn't happen one without the other. Like no one is creating, like this is a creation of this is creatrix, like, but people don't understand that. They just see from, so they see like if it's someone of the opposite sex, they might see, they're like, oh, that one, right? And it's like even with me, like people never really gave me the time of day until they saw me with a white guy. And they never gave me the time of day until they saw him with a black woman, right? Like it's this very like people want, oh, like, oh, well, I didn't think that they'd be interested in me. It's just all of this everybody wants. It's not even what they don't think they can have. In fact, a lot of people feel like they can have, but they want what they didn't work for. It's this, yeah. And I feel like this is where it's this entitlement, and people don't understand it's tied to their karma. And I think when they entangle with you, it starts getting really entangled with their karma. Because if you're dealing with other people and everybody's karma is like on the same track, like it's not going to work. But if you come across somebody who's cleaned their karma up, and I'm not saying that from a cool stand, you have no idea what I had to do to clean my karma up. And if you want to know, you can book a reading with me face to face instead of being some snide little behind the scenes troll that can't even show their face, talk shit, throw rocks, and hide, you coward. You coward. Cowards. And you know who you are. You're the only people that watch my other channel. You're like, what other channel? You know there's another one. And then another one. And then another one. No, you didn't, because you underestimate. Why? Because you haven't left your zip code. And if you left your zip code, you just slipped into another neighborhood that looks exactly like your. I know who you are, and you can't stand it. But you know who other people are too. You just wield this power in the wrong way, and you don't like being called out for it. Okay. Fair play. And what theater? Yeah, no. Seuss. Seuss can stay in your camp. It's one thing, but it's another thing. And you know exactly what I'm talking about, Theodore. Yeah. I'm definitely feeling, I'm like, it's time for tarot. It's tarot time. Oh, that's another shout out. If you haven't watched Tiara's Tarot, oh my God. Now, buckle up, Buttercup, because she's not for the faint of heart. And you know what I like about her? You know, actually, what I love about her, you know, I got into, people don't realize this. I'm all like talking about the real things and like, you know, showing up with side boob and all this other stuff. And I was not like this before. I grew up Seventh Day Adventist. Everything was covered up. Everything was, and especially doing this, like this was like out of the box, or whatever. But there were a few women that when I first started that I was watching that were I was just like, because I grew up this way, like, just like kind of ghetto, like the way they talked, and like you can see the way I talk. My parents are like, oh, we raised you in the Midwest so that you wouldn't have an accent, you wouldn't have ebonics, so that you could be like a broadcaster or a lawyer or whatever it is. You're so full of shit. But anyways, like that's what I grew up around. Like my mom would be like, "Oh my god, he's Puerto Rican. They sleep with their sisters." Right? Or like I mean, like people like be like racist to her, and she's like way dark. And she was like, I mean, it was bad. Uh and people were like, "Oh, so colorist. Like, okay, you had it bad. All right. Why don't you email me and I'll give you the roster of all the uncles, papas, deacons, pastors, relatives, babysitters, etc., 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 ex-boyfriends, whatever, that rape, molested, and whatever. I don't wear that shit on my sleeve. Go fuck yourself. You want to come at me, bruh? I got trauma for days. I just don't wear it on my sleeve. I had addictions for days. I just don't wear it on my sleeve. Why? You're like, oh, well, you still drink? Yeah. I used to drink a gallon, or no, it was, I looked at it, this half liters a day with prescription pills. Oh, yeah. While I was almost completely paralyzed in bed and was getting raped by my then husband because I couldn't move. I was really fucked up all the time. How about them apples? Would you like his name? Would you like to look him up? I'll give you his address. You want to see if things are true? I mean, I don't know if he'll tell you. Probably not. But I mean, everything comes to light. That's been done in the dark, right? How dare I? How dare you? Friends and family. Yeah. Really, you're just like, oh, this, that, and the other. Yeah, nope. There's no like, oh, me too, or this, that, and the other. I don't sit in that duplicitous victimhood camp. I am a survivor, but I also weaponize and monetize that shit. Take that as confirmation. What does that mean? I now hunt the people that hunted me. What does that mean? I don't know. Start doing some digging. Why don't you ask? Call the FBI. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Yeah, you'll have to learn more of that story over on the podcast. Yeah, no, let's clear the space. Like, no, we're hanging, right? We're hanging. There's definitely an energy here. I want to be, I'm not gonna lie. I'm serious. Like they were like, start a podcast. I mean the day, like my first, not a podcast, start a YouTube, and I was like, I thought that was going to be my saving. Like, oh my gosh, I can't even tell you the month before. Oh my gosh, not even the month. I guess I can tell you, but I'm not going to now. Like, I'm going to send you over to the podcast. But, like, yeah. Mm-mm. There's somebody, I want to say somebody, but there are a few. You will be outcasts. You will be deemed crazy. You will have to cut everybody off at the pass. It's going to suck. It's going to be lonely. And the more and the faster that you lean into your guides, ask them, hey, tonight, will one of my guides, how many guides do I have? Get a deck of cards. It doesn't have to be tarot. Please. In fact, tarot is a little more, I don't recommend anybody starting with tarot. And honestly, I don't know if I even recommend somebody starting with, because I was going to be like with a cartomancy or something like that. Sorry. Try not to have a nip slip. What was that? What? Elaine from Seinfeld. There's something there. Somebody just had, but yeah, it's because people don't realize that even like with a regular deck of cards, cartomancy, like they were made with intention, and any deck of cards that's made with a certain intention, those cards will behave that way unless you pull and unless you have that intention stated out. They will always read the situation of what's going on around you, and then they can really like screw with what you think is going on. So you have to intrinsically understand card divination before you really start relying on it for your life. And how do you do that? Is you've got to learn how to use, you have to learn how the cards work and how they work for you and how they work for your mind and between you and your spirit guides, which means that you have to start from a very, like, you got to like a lexicon, right? But like, I really highly recommend you getting a blank deck of cards and starting to make your own. And like for me, I could never shuffle those like 3x5s or whatever. They annoyed me. I didn't like, they didn't slip, anything like that. And so I stayed away from that. And it's like, I've never been a person to like really like channel like those short little messages because I never really cared about anybody else. I know that sounds terrible. I was always like, where am I going? What's the opportunity? Like, who did it? Like, who done it? Like, I've always done like investigative stuff. But I knew that was later down the line, but then I was introduced to just these cards that are like dry erase, and I was like, and they're really annoying, and I'm left-handed, well, I'm ambidextrous. So writing on them left-handed, right-handed, they were smearing everything like that. I'm like, what's the point? But it was like, they were like, it's the way they shuffle. It's nothing to do that you can write it on there. And I can, because I can with a Sharpie. So if you really have like a tactile type of issue thing, then you can go ahead and get, and they're really inexpensive. And they're just like dry erase cards. You put regular permanent on there, and then they shuffle regularly. They won't get off on your hands or anything like that, but they will still give you that beautiful like velvety shuffle feel, and I love them. What I'm like, okay, okay, and this is where we say, because I'm getting on myself in my head, like I really veered off, and I gave a lesson, and they're like, yeah, and that's what's things are supposed to happen. I I want you to learn how to read for yourself and not depend, right? I don't want dependent subscribers. And if you want to be dependent, I mean, you can book a reading and we can see if that's, I say dependent, meaning like if you want accurate information, because again, I can't give you more of a specific reading than like 70% when I'm reading for a group of people. And I'm not trying to like hone you in, because again, if you, I give a money back guarantee, and a lot of people won't do that. But I don't take like, will I be famous? I'm not going, I'll just be like, I don't think we're the right fit. That's not the type of reader. Do you want me to find out about like whether you'll not even win a divorce settlement? It's not that, I don't even go there. It's a matter of you either hire me to help you out with the divorce or not, because I don't create leverage, I find it. And when people are divorcing, there's always something. Unfortunately, I'm the non-divorce divorce lawyer. In fact, I might go hit him up. But yeah, there's something here. I almost, it's like no explanation. Yeah, I feel like this reading is like holding space for a couple of people that just needed to make a decision and needed some confirmation. And it's not for the collective, and that's okay. And then I have to be okay. Like, well, I did a whole reading, 6 on blessings. I got 26 views, and it was like, I can't, but it was such a lovely reading. And I went back and watched it, and there was so much energy, and it took me out for a day ish. Not actually, no, that's a lie. Let me. It was actually one of the readings that didn't take me out that much because I was working like the good stuff, but it was also like, whoa, 26. And it's like, is it really about the views? And it's like, no, for me, it's about the information. And it's always been a conversation between me, myself, and I, because I can do a reading myself and then I can question myself. But once I put it out there, then I go back and watch it, and I know that I am a badass, you know. So if there's no other reason to start a YouTube channel, it would be to find out who your best friend is. So maybe it's not always about the cards. Well, I know that. Like, it's always been about, but it feels like it should be, right? You came here on tarot and you looked it up, like, and all of the things. And then we all channel, and everybody's like, oh, we channel, and they just see our fingernails or whatever. But, like, no, I'm here. I'm up. I'm at them. I do this on the daily. I walk around life, and I just realize shit just comes out of my mouth. And and then I'm like, I don't even remember what I said, and people look at me like I'm fucking Yoda or something. And I'm not trying to be cool. And this is always the way it's been, but maybe it is always the way it's been. It's just the way I don't know. So I am on here to let you know that even at where you think that I am still in awe of what's out there. Just dependent on, like, I'm cleaning up my diet, and I'm cleaning up things, even though, like, they are actually quite necessary in my life. And I'm glad I'm able to share that with you. And sometimes it's difficult because there's so much, because I can feel, right? And I can feel, and I can think, and I can hear, and I know. But I know if I feel that way, so do you. So, that being said, and you can see, you know, here I have that more when I'm on and I'm channeling and I'm doing the whole thing, whatever, and I'm looking the camera in the eye. But like when I'm being real with you, like I'm uh what's avoidant in my body language. And I just want everybody to know that, you know, it's not everything that I've shown has been curated, because this is a part of me that I'm like this, not like this. But then I also realized that whenever I was this, that's just me. And when I was this, I was just channeling. And we use that word. So what does channeling mean? And that's what we got to get into. And that means just being in flow. It means theta state. It's the actual brain. It's real science. It's actually real science. So we will get into the science of getting to theta next time. We'll see you on the flip, bitches. Bye.